Okay, so do you have a minute? Because I have this sort of idea. Actually, it's more of a game. And I know what you're thinking to yourself. Mike, I don't even know the rules of this game. I don't even know how to play. Well, luckily for you, I can explain this in less than 10 seconds, and that is a guarantee, and I can prove it. Now, the rules are really simple. All that's going to happen is I'm going to show you a guitar, and all you have to do is tell me what it is. Now, I don't think that seems too hard. All right, so here it is, and I'll give you 3 to 5 seconds to give me your best guess. Well, looks like time's up. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the G&L S500 Custom Shop. It's literally one of my dream guitars. It looks amazing, it sounds amazing, and I mean, does that surprise anybody? It's a G&L Leo Fender designed custom shop. I got it probably about 2 months ago, but maybe not for the reason that you might initially think. And that's probably because my thought process went something like this. You see, in the guitar world, just like in any other industry, you have your big brands, right? In the sports world, you have Nike, and you have Adidas. In the world of gourmet cuisine, you have McDonald's and you have Burger King. And how many times do I have to tell them no mayo? And in our ever-changing guitar world, we have Fender and we have Gibson. And while I love both of these brands and have owned multiples of each, sometimes I want to be different, like a contrarian of sorts, you know? I want to see my options. Like, what else is out there? What are the kids rizzing up these days? And yes, I know that sounds super cringy, but I've been really trying to learn to speak Gen Z, and I hear that that's something that they say. But a few years ago, trying to find those differences is actually how I landed on G&L, and how I found that the guitar world is a lot bigger than how I sometimes give it credit for. But then sometimes I forget to check in with the big dogs, see what I've been missing, see what I haven't actually played yet. So of course I thought to myself, what Fender guitars might I have missed out on over the years? And of course you got some of the new stuff like the Corey Wong signature and the American Vintage 2. You got some of the older stuff like the Jeff Beck signature or some of the older custom shops. But then I thought to myself, back in the day, there was one guitar that I really used to dream about. You see, I've been playing guitar for quite a while now, actually 10 years this January. And when I thought back to all of the solos that made my fingers literally ache and all of the research that I spent doing on YouTube on different guitar players, it really all came back to just one guy, one single guy, a blues legend who taught me that at times a 5-note scale like the pentatonic could express emotion just as well as words ever could. And just in case you're wondering, his name? You see, in the late 80s, Fender and Stevie had actually come up with the idea of doing a signature line. However, right before they could finish everything, Stevie tragically died in a helicopter crash on August 27th, 1990. Probably one of the saddest days in the history of the guitar. However, in 1991, Stevie's brother, Jimmy, a guitar legend in his own right, actually got back together with Fender to see if they could finish the idea and finish what they had started with Stevie. And eventually the guitar was actually unveiled and finished at NAMM in 1992. And for those of you who don't know, NAMM is a guitar conference where you do a lot of walking in Anaheim, California. Oh, and by the way, I may have happened to have gotten my hands on one. I think it's morphin' time. Do the kids still say that? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Fender Stevie Ray Vaughan signature Strat. Now, what I found out is it happens to be one of a couple of signature Strats that he has on the line. But this particular model happens to have a paw faro neck, 21 frets, and of course, the infamous Texas Special pickups. And if you know anything about Stevie or about Texas blues, you know why those pickups have a reputation. Obviously, the gold hardware looks sick, but really to me, it's about the SRV pickguard. Like, this is just something you see in pictures over and over again. So to put my hands on it, it's just very strange. I still think I would prefer the ebony to the paw faro neck, but this is genuinely one of the first paw faro necks I'm looking at. I'm like, that looks pretty clean. In the debate of backplate on versus backplate off, apparently Stevie Ray is a backplate on guy. I mean, let's call it what it is. Essentially, it's a beast of an axe. But the real question, can it really live up to Stevie Ray name? So obviously, let's find out. Wait, I'm gonna stop you right there, because obviously if we're playing the Stevie Ray guitar, we're gonna need one more thing. This thing is set up coming out of the box. The action's higher than I'm used to. It's got a really chunky neck, so it is a little bit harder to play than I was initially intending. I feel like this guitar is just genuinely set up to give someone insane finger strength. secrets come into play when it comes to this guitar. When I got it, I told one of my friends, I was like, I'm getting the SRV guitar. And he's like, how do you feel about the left-handed trem? And I was like, I don't know what that means. Our boy Stevie Ray apparently liked his trems just a little different. Calling myself a Stevie Ray fan and never having noticed that after the hours and hours of footage that I've watched, I feel bad. I think Stevie Ray is one of a handful of guitar players who have ever lived who has one chord. As soon as you hear the chord, you know exactly what song is coming. This is not the easiest guitar in the world to play. It really isn't. However, it gets such a good tone because you have these big beefy strings. It's tuned down to E flat. Everything you think a Stevie Ray Vaughan fan should be doing, this guitar does that thing. And it does it so well. All right, so I'm gonna level with you really quickly because there are a lot of times when I feel like I don't know exactly what to say about a guitar. Like I'm wondering who it's for, and this is definitely not one of those times. I know exactly what this guitar is, and I know exactly who this guitar is for. And if I could give you a one-word summary into how I'm feeling, this guitar is simple. I think there are a lot of times with some of Fender's newer guitars, like the American Pro 2, which I own, or with the American Vintage, where Fender's trying to make guitars that can do a lot of things. You're trying to make a Strat have that reputation for being a super versatile guitar, sometimes even challenging the Telecaster, because I know a lot of people have said that's the most versatile guitar of all time. I'm looking at you, Rhett Shull. But this right here, this is not necessarily what I would call a versatile guitar, and it's not trying to be. This guitar is for the John Mayer loving, Jimi Hendrix watching, Kenny Wayne Shepherd playing, Stevie Ray Vaughan fan. It is for doing the blues thing, doing the classic blues thing, for playing as hard as possible, for putting 13s on, all of those things that you expect. And that's why I love it. This guitar is unapologetic in who it's for and what it's trying to do. And I think in a lot of ways, that's kind of how Stevie's playing was. There weren't many times where he mixed genres. You never really saw him going with whoever was the real pop heads at the day. I don't know. Could you imagine Mariah Carey, Vision of Love, featuring Stevie Ray Vaughan? Actually, that would have been kind of fire. I genuinely have an appreciation for what this guitar is, what it isn't, and I really would look forward to bringing this to a blues jam if I ever had the courage to go back, because last time I really embarrassed myself. And if you want to hear that full story, let me know in the comments. It's also one of those cool things where almost every part of this guitar I feel like has a reputation, from the gold hardware to the actual pick guard. And just holding this in person was just so cool. But I do think at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter at all. What matters is what you think. Have you played the SRV signature Strat from Fender? Did you like it? Are you a fan of SRV? What's your favorite SRV song? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. It was so much fun just to be able to check out this Strat. I think 20-year-old Mike would have literally passed out from excitement knowing that I had this guitar in my possession currently. If you want to know anything more about the SRV Signature Strat, I got it from the homies at Sweetwater. The link is in the description. Make sure to check it out. It's one of the best ways to support the channel if that's something you want to do, or if you're just curious about any of the other gear that I used in this video, like the Tube Screamer. Make sure to check out those links. Like and sub if you had a good time, and most importantly, like most important of all, have a fantastic day.